Hello everyone. Today, I want to share with you the image editing model recently open sourced by Xiaohongshu, Firered Image Edit 1.1, and FLUX2 Klein, which was open sourced some time ago. At the beginning of the video, there is a comparative case of the model. If you skip the case and didn't read it, you can first watch how to use the workflow, go back and have a look again. I think the effect is decent. You can go to the platform to use or download it again. Today, I prepared 7 workflows. The translation is Fired Image Edit 1.1, basic workflow of FLUX2 Klein. These 2 are used for text-to-image generation and image editing. The other 5 are about changing the head and face of characters. They are the Fired Image Edit 1.1 single-player version with a new head, FLUX2 Klein single-player version and designated role version of head and face changing. Why do it? What about the 2 versions of head and face transplants? Mainly because I think changing heads is more similar. The face transplant always feels not quite like me. Maybe it is just my eyes. Why is there a Fired Image Edit 1.1? I only made a version with a head replaced. That is because of his face transplant. I always like to take my hair into consideration. And his pixel offset is quite large. It is also not easy to handle when playing a designated role. So it is better to just replace the head. The advantages of FLUX2 Klein are quite evident. The texture of the picture will be much better, more authentic. The details are also very good. The pixels will not be offset. It is relatively fast, so I prefer Klein. One rather frustrating thing about it is that it tends to cast a color cast. It will turn yellow. Now let's talk about it. How should these workflows be used? First, the first one is the basic workflow for Firered Image Edit 1.1. According to my previous practice, fill in or select the required fields for 1, 2, 3, 4 first. The most important place is the 4th step. Here is the switch selection. There are options for whether to use a quantitative model or not. Because if used locally, if your video memory is insufficient, you can use a quantization model. Just turn on the switch here. And here is whether a final high definition zoom is needed. Is there a need to use AI to rewrite the prompt here? Because sometimes if you are unable to write the prompt words, you can use this switch. Let AI help you rewrite the prompt words. Is image 2 effective here? The loaded image here. In the first step, we need to upload all the images first, whether you use it or not. When you use, for example, this image 2, after uploading, you need to turn on the switch here. It will take effect. Is this one using breast size adjustment? Why is such a switch? It is mainly because of this model. He is using a skin or outfit change. It will turn your character into a flat-chested one. That is why this switch exists. This switch is actually a LoRa. I can help you in the final generated image, the characters in it. His chest won't be reduced by him. Then, the one below here is whether to use text formatting. When you want to add text to an image, or when it comes to writing, for example. Just like the image case I showed at the beginning of the video. This is an official LoRa. When adding text to an image, its effect will be better. Take, for example, this image at the beginning of my video. When adding text above, it would be better to refer to other text styles. Then the following question is whether to use other LoRa. In this place where LoRa is loaded, you are free to use whatever you want to use LoRa. This model, it is compatible with QWin, so if you need to use other LoRa devices, I'll upload it here myself. You can also open the following one. Hold down the control key on the keyboard and press the B key to open it. Then there is another point to note. This is the node. This is a node for AI rewriting prompt words. If it is a local deployment, friends who use this workflow, we need to do this first. You can go to this address to obtain the API. Fill in the API here. Reconnect this Y here. Press and hold Ctrl B to open it. This can be deleted. Then the second FLUX2 Klein, text to image and image editing. This basic workflow. Complete the required entries following steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4. If you want to use text to image, fill in the width and height. Then fill in the prompt words. The image here is effective. Turn off all these switches. IT serves as a tattoo design function. If you need to use image editing, just turn on the corresponding switch. For example, you uploaded an image, then turn on the switch. It becomes effective with this image. You use 2. After uploading, just turn on the switch. Fill in the prompt word and this long side dimension. I have annotated some corresponding contents above. After reading, you will know how to use it. Then there will also be a prompt word switch here. It is AI that rewrites the prompt words. If you can't write prompt words, you can just fill in the general information and then run it. AI will help us rewrite. Additionally, here in the model loading area, I have 2 blocked nodes. Actually, this is LoRa. It is reserved for you. If there are times when it is necessary to add LoRa for use, if it is ready, you can open it. Then select the LoRa you want to use. Then just run it. In addition, friends who deploy locally can follow the above URL. Fill in the 3 fields, API, model, and address. Go and use again. One thing to note is before use, first upload these 3 nodes. Whether you use its image or not, you should upload everything first, otherwise an error will be reported. Okay, next one, Firered single player version with a change head. This is very simple. Just upload an original image, then a reference image. The reference image of the face can be used for operation. This is very simple. This is the final generated effect. The effect of the entire head replacement, actually, he looks like he already is. I think it is more than 90%. Perhaps there is a bit too much pixel offset, and the image of Firered is a bit blurry. This is already an enlarged image. The face still lacks details. Next, let's take a look at the effect of Klein. This is the single-player version of Klein's face-changing game. It is also very simple. Upload the original image and the reference image of the model's face. It can be run now. This is the final effect, but I think just changing one's face alone, it seems like he hasn't replaced his entire head. The similarity is so high. Why is it that during the demonstration at the beginning of the video, those renderings are not that good? Actually, it is mainly because I have already debugged it. This is the one with the black beast added, a LoRa specifically designed for face recognition. And then there is this. It is a LoRa module for adding facial details. You can make a comparison. You can take a look. The one in the middle is the original model without adding any LoRa. The old woman who looks like this model's face. This is really a bit ugly. The one on the right is after adding LoRa, the one that has been readjusted. The facial effect is much better than the original one. Then the next one is the face swapped version of Klein's designated character. First, upload an original image. Then upload a reference image of a model's face. Then fill in here. You need to be on top of the original image, the position of the person who is going to be replaced. Approximate the location. For example, this image, I want to switch to the woman on the right. So please fill in the information for the woman on the right here. Just fill in the approximate location and it will work. It should be noted that when you are running, we need to check if his mask position is correct. The position of the person you need to replace. I want to replace the person on the right. Then the mask he needs should be on the right side. Probably his face and hair. It is sufficient if these can be drawn. Then there's one thing to note here. This is a translation node, but he is using it specifically on the Win0 platform. If you are deploying for local use, you can delete it. You can also replace it with something you already have. A node that can be translated into English. If you don't need translation, fill in English directly here. Next is Klein's head swapped single player version. Upload 2 images and it is ready to run. The operation is the same. Let's take a look at the effect. I really like the K model because its authenticity is quite high. Moreover, the details of the skin are also quite impressive. It is just a little yellowish. The overall color tone tends to be slightly yellowish. But I think I can accept this. You can think about it yourselves. If it is acceptable, then I think it is better to use Klein. The text is quite good, and the time for generating the graph is relatively fast. A single image can take no more than about 1 minute, plus the time for amplification. And here was the last one. It is the designated character head replacement edition of FLUX2 Klein. It follows the same operation as the previous one. Upload the picture properly. Then here, fill in the position of the row you want to switch to. Fill it out. For example, I have filled in the woman on the far right, and the one who was finally chosen was the woman on the far right. Okay, that is all for today's sharing. I have already included a link to the workflow in the introduction section. You can use or download it on the platform. If a workflow for local deployment is needed, the model used, I have already put it on the cloud drive. Thank you all. Remember to give me a like, a comment, and a share.